What's going on, everybody? We are jumping in live right here. Let's allow some people to get in the room before we jump in right now. This is an impromptu live session with all the breaking stuff that's going on in the WNBA. Let's talk about it. But I'll give y'all a few minutes before we start. The WNBA has imposed a deadline on the WNBPA and the Players Association. They've given a drop dead deadline as to starting the season on time, and now it is time to see if the players are truly about that life. Are they truly about it, or was it all lip service? Will the players stand 10 toes down and dig in to the sand and say, we ain't budging, even though you already did? We ain't going anywhere, even though you already did. And I mean, hey, are you willing to really sacrifice games or even a season to make your point? We'll discuss all of that right here on this edition of Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. We talk facts over feelings. Powered by Come On Now, the podcast. You know I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Hit the like button, subscribe, follow us on our Instagram, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. We appreciate your continued support of the channel. Got a lot more women's ball coverage coming with the NCAA tournament right around the corner. College women's basketball is in its final week. Tournaments start next week, and then 2 weeks thereafter, they will have the NCAA tournament beginning. But this is the news that we've been sitting on, waiting on for, I don't know, the better part of the last, 4 months, 5 months, whatever, October. So you had November, you had December, you had January, you were in February, and now we're sitting here, and the WNBA has finally said, yo, enough is enough. If you want to have a basketball season, well, we need to have a deal. We need a deal. You just saw that Caitlin Clark got these chicks paid. They finally cracked the profit sharing. Does that mean there's some profit? Or did they just crack profit sharing? Either way, we all know how this happened. This happened because Caitlin Clark got them paid. So you got $8 million, apparently, that's going to be divided between 13 teams. That is $615,384.61.5. Rounded up to 62. Divide that by the 11 players per team. That is an average of $55,944.06. I tell you what, for someone who makes $100,000 a year, a $56,000 bonus ain't too bad, wouldn't you think? So are they going to send her some Christmas cards, some thank you notices, some delayed Valentines, or whatever? Because we all know why this happened. Caitlin Clark got them paid. Keeping it all true, keeping it all real, keeping it a buck. I don't know how it's divided amongst the players. Although it does say under the 2020 CBA, players would receive 50% of shared revenue defined in the CBA as the amount of revenue over a predetermined threshold minus 30% for expenses. In 2025, the players' portion of the shared revenue amounted to about $16 million, according to the union. Of that, $8 million will be paid to the players who were active in 2025. The union said, as mandated by the CBA, the other half will be allocated to the league marketing agreements, which are off-season initiatives offered to some players to promote the league and its partners. So what happens here? So which players get paid? if you're a part-timer or you're a 7-day player, do you get paid? How much do you get paid? But hey, look, they're going to get some money. Good for them. Congratulations. More so, congratulations to Caitlin Clark for carrying this league to some level of respectability and an area in which they finally broke a threshold that they could not breathe on prior to her appearance. They should send her a thank you card. I'm just saying. Apparently, there's a max payment of $50,000 to players who are active in each season. More than 250 players are expected to receive payments, including players who have retired. Or wait, what in the world? Is this the CBA shit? I don't even know. Who cares? But hey, the WNBA has imposed a deadline. Let's get back to that one. The WNBA imposed a deadline on March 10th. March 10th is the drop dead deadline, and now the players are probably not happy. They're probably seething inside and saying, "How dare you give us a deadline? We thought we could drag this on forever. We thought they could drag this on forever." No, you have a season to start. You have to do 2 expansion drafts. You've got to do free agency. You've got to do a real draft. And then you got to start, preseason, training camp. Training camp starts mid-April. The college training draft is scheduled for April 13th. Training camp is slated to begin on April 19th. So yeah, you need some time to get all the ducks in a row. With a start date of March, with a deadline of March 10th. I mean, you're talking about 4 weeks, 5 weeks. That's a quick turnaround, man. I don't know what these players were thinking. Now the question is, will they decide to go on strike? Do it. Show us what you're made of. Sacrifice the present for the betterment of the future, and show me if you really stand on business. Because I don't believe you do. I believe this was all a dog and pony show for the past 4.5 months, hoping the WNBA ownership would give y'all more revenue share, give y'all more money. Realistically, they want to, give you money pre expenses, which is never going to happen. Even in the most recent proposal, they dropped the 27.5, blase. You're talking about a $400 to $500 million loss for the WNBA, according to their records, according to what they say. Just don't. I just do not see how on today of February 24th, how in 14 days they will find a way to get this deal done, unless the players decide to do this, stand up, and do this. Give me another. Bend over and take it up the keister. Because that is the only way this season starts on time at this point. They're going to have to take it up the keister because they thought they could drag this shit on forever. And they thought that they had some leverage. I mean, they have marginal leverage. Not really, but they think they do. They think they do. Yeah, very, very interesting. Just don't realistically. I don't know. I gotta see if these players are about that life, man. So this is what ESPN has posted, courtesy. I'm sure you've seen Ben Daniels' video by now. I was gonna do this last night actually, but I decided Not, I decided to wait till today because I did a bunch of videos last night. But this is what was posted by Alexa Philippou of ESPN, the worldwide leader in woke. The WNBA told the WNBPA and its teams on Monday that a new collective bargaining agreement should be agreed to by March 10th for the 2026 schedule, not to be impacted, sources told ESPN. The WNBA, represented by league staff, the league's labor relations committee, and owners, and over 50 players met virtually. Why are there 50 players meeting? Just curious. You have a executive board that you empowered to make decisions. You have player reps. Why are there 50 people there? I guess they want to show solidarity. They met virtually on Monday morning for a second bargaining session. So what do they do? Do they how does the conversation go? Does the WNBA say, "Look, this is the offer"? The players say, "No, we want more. We want more. We want more." What do they do? What do they do? I would love to be a fly on the wall of these negotiations. I think that'd be freaking hilarious, personally. In addition to the league sharing the March 10th deadline date, the two sides continued conversing over their conflicting positions amid the now 16-month-long CBA talks. 16 months. These women these ladies have been on some good stuff for 16 months. I don't know. The WNBPA is planning to meet with leadership to discuss the next steps, which include a response to the league's most recent proposal from Friday, which was the same. The league also met with team personnel later Monday and to share the March 10th date and what truncated offseason activity could look like. It is thought to be the first deadline of sorts the league has provided players and teams as negotiations have dragged on and already disrupted the offseason. Even once a deal is agreed upon, it could take weeks to formally ratify. The WNBA still needs to conduct a two-team expansion draft for the Toronto Tempo and Portland Fire and hold free agency for 80% of the league, which has been forgotten. They have to most of the league is unsigned. Training camp is slated to begin on April 19th with the college draft scheduled for April 13th. The regular season is supposed to tip on May 8th. I mean, hey, this is cute. Earlier Monday, the union told ESPN's Katie Barnes that the WNBA generated enough revenue in 2025 to trigger revenue sharing with its players, and that 9.25 million from licensing revenue will also be divvied out to players. Oh, that's beautiful. The WNBA and WNBPA player body authorized the union's executive committee to call a strike when necessary back in December. This shows our value and how what we are fighting for makes sense and how we should keep fighting. WNBPA treasurer Brianna Turner told Barnes. Brianna Turner's value to the league is nil, insignificant, none. She has no value. I love how a board member who averages a 1 point a game and plays 2 minutes a game sits here and talks about value to a league. She's got no value. She has the value of Chris Dudley to the NBA back in the day. I mean, he had more value, for Christ's sakes, at least. Hey, if you're in the room, hit the like button, man. Subscribe, leave a comment. Shep, what's up? KCK Sav 00, what's up? Welcome aboard. This is cute, man. It's an interesting dynamic right here we got going on amongst the WNBA. And this revenue sharing is cute as well. I mean, they like I said, they need to be sending some thank you cards to Caitlin Clark. They really do. They do. I mean, let's listen to some of these comments right here. We've grown as a union and put our name, image, and likeness into a collective package. Neka Gumake said, the union exists for us to be able to represent all players. So I think it's a great way for all players to be able to share in the growth. Players do not want to strike. Nobody wants to work stoppage. But at the end of the day, we have to be ready. So as we continue to negotiate, us being ready is imperative. It's fair to say that part of this announcement is us being ready and playing that we are ready. Whatever all that means. Whatever all that means. I mean, I sure as shit heard Nafisa Collier tell the world that they done told their players to save their money. How do you tell somebody who makes 80 grand a year in this country right now, this economy, in which the prices of everything has gone up exponentially, to sit here and say, yo, I hope you saved your money. We've been telling our players to save their money. Is this where we are? Save your money because you're going to need it. Here's the question. Will they ever actually formally strike? You know the answer is probably not. They'll just continue as status quo and continue negotiating. But if they did, I think this will be obviously the time that you finally do it when the season is on the brink. Or, I mean, look, ownership ain't going to lock them out. I think we've already proven that. They're not going to lock them out. So how do they finally go from here and here and meet here? I got it. They don't. They don't. We are on February 24th, people. February 24th. We're talking about 2 weeks from today. Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. We're sitting here looking at my calendar. March 10th is the Tuesday, 2 weeks from Tuesday as of today. So Tuesday, 2 Tuesdays from now, we will be sitting here wondering if they really impose a deadline or if the WNBA is full of shit. I mean, at some point, there got to be a real deadline, right? The schedule is what the schedule is. Teams have got to have the opportunity to make decisions and not have them rushed. You know, I mean, they've made decisions on certain players they want to protect and so forth for the WNBA expansion draft, for which there will be 2 teams drafting. But you don't really want to have to make that in a rushed way. I do agree with this. I think that is a very likely probability that they will wait until the 9th hour, the 11:59 on the 9th, for the WNBA PA to decide anything, because they don't have the fucking stones to do it, in my opinion. They like to talk tough. They talk tough. You are an organization that does not have a lot of leverage in terms of money production. So all you are really is a money pit. And you know what's the funny thing about all of this, and people probably don't think about it right now, is that if they do happen to have a work stoppage of some capacity, i.e., whether or not it is a strike, a lockout, or the other possibility or probability of having the season delayed. Well, the season delayed means that whatever you decide, then you know what's funny is whatever you decide, you're gonna get paid less because there's gonna be less games. The season being shortened, the season being delayed means there will be less games. That's what happens in lockouts, in strikes, and when the season gets delayed. It's not like the NBA in the past has whatchamacallit. It's not like the NBA in the past has decided to extend the length of the league. What they simply do is what they simply do realistically is they chop games. So when you chop games, guess what? You're chopping salaries. How many players do you think will want to go to the Fever to get more? I tell you what, that is a great point. I think there's a lot that understand what Sophie Cunningham figured out, And instead, if you want to get paid, you need to align yourself with Caitlin Clark. You should want to play on her team because it will only benefit you financially. So I could see a bunch of players who are, for lack of better words, considered the more attractive players who can financially benefit from things that attractive people get, i.e., modeling opportunities and stuff like that. I absolutely could see it. I think there will certainly be some. How many? Who knows? But I think there will be some. I'm sure there are players that would love to play with Caitlin Clark who have not otherwise said so out loud for fear of backlash that they don't want to receive from the masses. there's only one player like a Sophie Cunningham who just doesn't give a flying fuck about what anybody thinks, which is how everybody should it's how everybody should carry themselves. You should never care what other people think about you. Realistically, why should one care about what others think about them? Why? For what reason? That's why it bugs me so much when you hear. That's why it bugs me. I'm sure it bugs a lot of people who are Caitlin Clark fans when she acquiesces to this mentality of, oh, we need to prop up this and say, oh, this is great. This is why I'm here. No, no. Who gives a shit about what happened 20 years ago? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the players of 2005. Most people don't even remember their names. You don't have to put yourself down to prop them up. You don't have to take the shine off of you to prop them up. I mean, that's the Paige Beckers way. I get it. Paige Beckers would rather not have any shine and have this fugazi love affair that people praise her and love her and think she's absolutely fucking amazing. And while all she does is, we need to take the time to shine the light on the former black players in the WNBA. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? You should never care what anyone thinks about. I'm gonna be real. You should never care what anybody thinks about you in anything in life. The only people I'll take that back. The only people that you should give a shit what they think about you are your spouse and your kids. Not even your parents, not your cousins, not your brothers, not your sisters, your spouse or your significant other and your kids. As long as they think something highly of me, the rest of it, I don't give a shit. Realistically, I've always operated that way. I think you can see that I don't give a crap what most people think about me. People have made all kinds of comments about me. I've lived in a world in which I've been covering sports for almost 30 years. I've been involved in the sports industry for about 30, almost 30 years. Whether it was covering basketball, football, baseball, soccer, water polo. I covered all that for the local newspaper for a long time, high school sports. Covered the University of Miami for a very long time, got back into it, covered MMA, BKFC. Let me tell you something. I covered a BKFC, and I'm covering dudes who are mentally a little bit off, right? Because you have to be a little bit off to want to get punched in the face for a living. Don't get it twisted at all. These dudes punch people in the face, but they actually enjoy getting punched in the face, right? And on most of these, with most of these, such in the BKFC world, not so much in the UFC, but more in the BKFC world, a lot of the guys that cover BKFC just want to be friends with the fighters. Like I've noticed that they don't make picks, they don't make predictions, they don't make preview videos predicting winners. I predict winners in all my previews for the most part. I really got into doing the preview, the predictions, because why would you watch me if I'm not going to actually give you my opinion of the fight rather than just riding the fence saying, this is gonna be a war. No, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I mean, I talk to a lot of fighters and I tell them to their face. I'm like, yo, you made that fight too hard on yourself. Stop fucking around. I told other fighters, I'm like, you said, like, bro, what is it about the excuses of you got knocked out? You know, why is it always that you have to? There has to be an excuse after you lose that it was that one thing was wrong with the other. Oh, I ask real questions. I make real comments, and a lot of fighters respect the shit of me because I'm not afraid to tell what I'm giving my opinion. Whereas so many others will just massage them and make them feel good about themselves. So let me take a look at this comment. Yes, I did mention that they get $8 million divided up between like 250 players. So what the percentages are, I don't know. Uh, I don't know what the percentages are, but it's like 250 players. So there's a max of 50K, I think it is per player. So yeah, they're gonna get and the March 10th deadline is for the start of the season. If they don't get this shit together by March 10th, the season will be delayed. And in a delay, that means they're gonna lose money. They're gonna lose money. So they can negotiate, and that's great. But if they don't come to an agreement, you know, if they don't come to an agreement, what's gonna happen? They're gonna actually they when they finally come to an agreement, whatever they've come to this year, it will be prorated. They will not get 100% of whatever it is that they negotiate. Whatever final number they get, they will not get 100% of it. They will get a portion of it because it will be prorated because they will lose games. So if they have a 44 game schedule and it turns into a 30 game schedule, guess what? If your salary was $500,000, because understand they get paid by the game. That's how salaries in professional sports work. It's based on a game. So if you have a 500K salary and you lose 14 games, what is 30 divided by 44? That's 68. So you lost 32% of your game. So if you were making 500 grand, well, guess what? You can scratch off 32% of that shit and you're going to be making 340. That's a pretty significant loss. That's a pretty significant loss. So they're going to have to start doing the mathematics in their brains, in their heads, and decide, is it truly worth it? Condensed season means more quick turnaround. No, it does not. It does not necessarily mean that. It could mean that, but it's not necessarily the case. What it will mean is they will lose games. Games will come off the schedule. So whatever you saw as a schedule that was put out by the WNBA, that won't be the schedule. They're going to have to redo the schedule. And you're going to have games come off. Because you do have to be realistic. Look, season starts on May 8th. Season starts on May 8th. When does the season typically end? Like mid-September? So you're talking June, July, August, September. 4 months. They got to get in 11 games a month on average for 4 months. That means you're probably going to play 12 or 13, 14 in the months of June, July, or August. You're going to lose some games. You're going to probably see a schedule, depending on how far it gets pushed back, you're going to see droppages in games. Like right now, I'm looking at, let me pull up the schedule. Let me pull up the schedule here. So you got, let me just I'll take Indiana, for example. Let me grab Indiana, since that's the team that we all slightly care about. Well, really, it's Caitlin Clark, but we slightly care about Indiana as a team, I presume. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They got 8 games in the month of May. They got 8 games in May. So if you push this season back to the beginning of June, well, you're going to lose 8 games. Nah, you're not going to get 44. They're going to end up getting. You're going to end up letting you. If this thing gets pushed, so let's say, so they're saying March 10th for a May 8th start. That means they need 2 months because they got to get in 2 expansion drafts. They got to run free agency and they got to run a college draft. The college draft will not happen on April 13th. if they don't have a deal. They'll have to push that back too, unless they get the deal done prior to April, probably the end of April. Maybe then they can still do the college draft, but they're still gonna have to have 2 expansion drafts. You're still gonna have to have free agency. Free agency, you got to give some time to. That's really the biggest problem is the free agency. I think free agency is the bigger headache because 80% of the league is unemployed. 80% of the league does not have a contract. So you have all the rookies, first, second, third year players. But beyond that, on those rookie deals, but beyond that, you got 80% of your players that are sitting there without a team. It's going to be an absolute fucking rat race for players. Like you're going to see the funkiest fucking free agency in the history of professional sports. Because you never have this many people available on the free agent market in the NBA. Like you might have 20%, 25%, but you're not going to have 80% of your players as free agents. So a lot of things, and with a lot of them, there'll be so many moving parts. So let's say it's 2 months. So let's say they get a deal done April 13th, April 10th. Now you're looking at June 10th for a start date. So you got 8 games right there, 9, 10, 11, potentially 12 lost games. Like they're going to lose money. They're going to lose games. Because what they can't do is they can't throw 20 games into a month. Like I mean, even I'm not that fucking stupid. Like I can criticize, but I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody, yo, y'all got to play 20 games in 30 days. Like that will never happen. That will never happen. So yeah, that's I want to see how long they're willing to push it. It's actually, this is what I was hoping would happen. Just being real. I wanted to get to this point. This is where you get to find out if the players are truly about it. Are they about it? Are they about it? Or are they just like dipping their toe in the pool? You know, you jump in the pool in the deep end, you learn to swim, or you drowned. Or are they just putting a toe in the water on the steps? This is when we'll find out about it. You know, find out about that. And I think I think this is really cool, believe it or not. I think it's really cool. I'm so happy the ownership has stood pat for the most part. I'm happy the players have stood pat for the most part. They did budge, and I think eventually they're going to come way down. I'll be real. I do think the ownership will move a little bit. They have given a lot, but what it comes down to it is and now that they have seen a slight profit from the league, and here's from last year, and here's the thing to really consider. Here's a real major. This is a major sticking point. There are contracts with these expansion teams. They have paid a lot of money to get into the WNBA. A lot of money. At what point do they say, I want out? At what point do they say, I want a refund on my expansion fee? This is why you can't use expansion fees. This is why you can't use expansion fees as part of WNBA revenue, because it's a one-time fee. And if they don't have a season, those ownership groups who just dropped 50 million and 125 million to get a team, they're taking a bath. They will have every right to say, you got that one, Toro. Bot it. Nah. I mean, they might be calling the WNBA and say, hey, yo, we got to go make refunds to people now because we got season tickets that we're now losing out on. I'm sure these teams have probably sold out or sold a lot of tickets to their respective teams and their respective markets, the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo. think it's right. It's Portland Fire, I believe, right? I think, or because I know they're doing Cleveland and Philly as well. But whoever it is, you're gonna have these teams. They're gonna be these ownership groups. I'm like, yo, I gotta cut refund checks now to people for tickets that they're not getting. So now the WNBA itself is under a bit of that's the one spot where the WNBA has this little like the hammer is saying, yo, we got to get a deal done too, because it's one thing to not pay players, and it's one thing to delay the season. Another thing where we have these expansion fees that are sitting out there, and we're not having a season right now. That is something that's something to think about. I'm not saying it's the worst thing on earth, but it's something to consider from their end. But it will be a it's an intriguing situation here to see who really blinks. So I do think the ownership will move off of that 15% number that they have. Was it 15% of after expenses? They'll come up. I think they come up. Do I think they come up a lot? No. But I think they come up. So, for example, if the players do this again, stand up, give me another, take it up the keister. I think if they get down to about that 20% number, I think the ownership comes back at about 17.5 and it gets wrapped. Okay, so 15% gross revenue. Yeah, it was 70% of after expenses. So 15%. So the players want 27.5 now, or they want 25 in the first season, but 27.5 over the deal. I think the ownership will move it to 17.5, but that's about it. If they don't, there won't be a season. Like, we got to be real. If they don't, there won't be. If they don't, there won't be a season. The players won't. The players are not going to agree to 15. If they did, they'd never have a leg to stand on ever again. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate the info. Like, they would never have a leg to stand on ever again. Like, the players will have been chumped to a level of because it would just be it will be proven that they have zero leverage. You have to be willing to lose something a little bit at least to get what you want. You got to be willing to sacrifice, which is why Nafisa Dollier told the players, you better start saving your money. So I guess a lot of players will be moving back in with mom and dad. Go get a job at Walmart, Jiffy Lube, Walgreens, CVS. Because the large majority of these players do not have real endorsement deals to support their lifestyle. And whatever money you made at Unrivaled or whatever, Athletes Unlimited, you better be saving that bread. You better not be going on boat trips every damn weekend in Miami. You better not be drinking up a storm in Coconut Grove, Doral, South Beach, Hollywood, wherever. You better be putting that money to the side. That's crazy. I do agree with that. I'm like, I get it for the non-contract players. I get it, because I think even the NBA pays for housing for their 10-day player. Like, they bring a player down for 10 days on a 10-day deal or whatever. What do you want? You can't possibly expect that player to go rent an apartment, not on the money that they're making on a 10-day deal. So I think even the NBA does have some level of housing covered. But I think the idea of paying someone's housing who makes $250,000 a year, even most recently, is freaking insane. It's insane. Or, at the end of the day, like if you're under contract for 3 or 4 years, like, bro, no one's telling you that you have to go into a long-term rental agreement. No one's telling, get a roommate. Get a roommate. I mean, if you're making 80 grand a year, get a roommate. Like that's what adults do when they can't afford something. They figure it out. But it seems like in the WNBA, they don't figure it out. They just complain about it. I had a roommate in my late 20s. In my late 20s, I had a roommate. I'm sure many people watching this right now had a roommate in their late 20s. Because shit's expensive. And back then, you didn't make 80 grand a year in your 20s. You made like 40 if you're lucky. They would steal money out of the drawer if they worked together. Oh, the customer service would be phenomenal. What are you talking about? It'd be amazing. I had a roommate and shit. I mean, yo, we made up all kinds of stuff. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been in have any of y'all have ever heard of the income restricted housing in which you have to basically finagle your finances to get that rental apartment for $800? It's a 3-bedroom for $800. Well, they used to have those down here. Now I think the rent for those is like $1,200. But if you can rent a 3-bedroom apartment in a not death zone for $1,200 in South Florida, man, you are in heaven because 1-bedroom rentals are $2,000 easy in a decent neighborhood. The greatest boss move of all time would be for the owners to give the players almost everything they asked for and then turn around and not sign any of the that would be some funny stuff right there. Now that would be a kicker, man. That would be a kicker. We're gonna give it all, but you know what? We don't want y'all. We're gonna go call up Deja Kelly, and we're gonna call these attractive females who can actually market our league to the men who watch it, being that 60% of our viewership are men. Sign the young players who have no skin in this thing and are in heaven to make $249,000 a year as a rookie salary. That would be funny as shit. I do agree. That would. I mean, let's be real. Outside of about 20 players, what do the rest of them do? What do the rest of them do? Like I'll be real. Caitlin, Angel, they're already signed. Paige is already signed. So let's remove the rookies. Of the remaining let's remove the first, second, third year players. Or even fourth. I think Aaliyah Boss is on the 4th year of her rookie deal. Asia Wilson, Sabrina, Collier, Alicia Gray. I could do without Brianna Stewart. Trust me on that one. Jonquel Jones. I guess Kelsey Plum, Kelsey Mitchell. Skylar Diggins, got to keep her, man. Got to keep her around. Alyssa Thomas. I can't think of 20 players that the WNBA really needs. Can you? I can't think of them. I can't. That was 9. I'm struggling. If you're over the age of 32, you can go. You can literally go. If you're 32 or up, there's the door. I think that would be freaking awesome. That'd be awesome. But I do think for housing purposes, I think for players who are on rookie deals or I mean, I will say on the prior rookie deal. Bro, if you're on a rookie deal making $250,000, you can afford to rent an apartment for 4 months. Like we can kill that noise. You don't have to get into a long-term rental. Hell, you can go rent an Airbnb. You can live in a hotel. And I'm sure and this would be my thought process and recommendation to the WNBA. It would be that you get deals in place and with hotels for which your players can rent directly at the hotel. Who the hell? I would love to live in a hotel. Are you kidding? Live in a hotel? My bed's made every day. My towels are changed every day. I'm talking about in my 20s, not as a 48-year-old. In my 20s, you told me I could come back every day. My bed's made, my room's clean, and I ain't doing shit. Oh my God. And they could get deals where it's like $80 a night. So like less than $2,500 a month. Oh my goodness. I would be in heaven. That would be the dope. I get free breakfast in the morning. I don't gotta go buy breakfast. A lot of these hotels now have like happy hours. Oh my word. It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. I mean, bring back Candace Parker and Lisa Leslie. Oh God, no. Lisa Leslie? That woman looks like she's had so much Botox injected into her face. She looked like a mannequin. Man, I don't know who's telling her to do that shit to her face, but God dog it. Stop. Please stop, Lisa. You're looking like a mannequin right now. I'll take my free bro. You got free TV and free Wi-Fi. Like you don't pay cable, you don't pay for Wi-Fi, you don't pay for nothing. Just like think about how much you pay a month for rent. Think about it. Mortgage or rent. So if your rent is $2,000 a month, that's your rent. That doesn't include your light bill usually, which is at least $100 a month, maybe $200 a month, depending on where you are, the temperatures, etc. So if you're in the cold, you got to be running the heat all the damn time. Right now, I guess I don't run heat. I live in South Florida, but you got your electric bill, you got your cable bill, and right now it's 800 streaming packages that will gut you, will drain your accounts in a second. Yeah, sweet hotels for sure. That's what I'm Etoro. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those hotels that give you a one bedroom, literally a one bedroom suite. It's a house. You don't have to go rent an apartment. You go to a Residence Inn. A Residence Inn is an apartment, and they give you free breakfast every day. Oh my goodness! Like this is the silliness about this shit. Like it's so dumb that they act like these players. Like if you don't want to live in that in the shitty city that you're at, and I get it. You play for in the NBA, there's a lot more shitty cities. In the WNBA, you got mostly real metro areas. You got New York, Indianapolis. You got Atlanta. You got DC. You got Dallas, Phoenix, LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Minneapolis. That's a dump. Um, New York, like I said, then you're going to Portland now, but let's say you're in an NBA to like Cleveland. Who the fuck wants to live in Cleveland? Nobody wants to live in Cleveland. No offense to anybody in Cleveland here. Even I know y'all don't want to live in Cleveland. Right? Like the mistake by the lake, nobody wants to live there. So let's say you're stuck in Cleveland. You don't want to live in Cleveland. I get it. I would never rent an annual place there. I'd be living in short term rental corporate housing stuff. I would not be buying shit in Cleveland. I don't want to live in that place. There's nothing on earth that would want me to be stuck in freaking Cleveland, bro. Nothing on earth would want to make me be stuck in Cleveland. So yeah, I don't know why anymore. I think that corporate housing option is fantastic. I think it's fantastic. But think about all the other the Connecticut. Oh my God. Yeah, the Mohegan area where they live. Yeah, was it Uncasville? There's nothing there. There's nothing there. So what is it? So you got 2,000 in rent, $200 in light bill. Your food bill is gonna be more because you have food for breakfast and lunch and whatever. Maybe dinner. I don't know. You got a cable bill that's gonna run you a couple $100 a month because of all the damn streaming packages. Your Wi-Fi another $50 to $100 a month. I mean, off the rip, you're looking at $700, $600 to $700 more in expenses on those things beyond your actual rent. Why the hell wouldn't you want to be in corporate housing? Well, the cardboard box might be an upgrade for a house in Cleveland. I know I got a friend that lives in Cleveland. I'm like, you got your goddamn mind, bro. He actually is from New York City. He moved there to Cleveland with his family when he was a kid. He's stuck there. So you just okay. I just want a to go somewhere else. Okay. So yeah, I'm not. I don't have a big problem with the housing for rookies and or people that are on short term. I really it's for short term deals. The rookies, especially now, with what their minimum salaries will be, their minimum salaries will be $250,000 a year. Pay some rent. Pay some rent. Be an adult. It's all right. You can be an adult. But man, I think this is a very telling time in the world of the WNBA and this league because we're gonna find out just how real these women are. Are they about it, or are they not about it? I want to know. I want to know. I want to know if they're really about that life, or if they're gonna cower in the corner and say, "Nah, we made a mistake. We made a mistake. We're gonna accept the 15%." So basically, y'all had a long ass argument, and all you did was bend over and take it up the keister. But make sure you send Caitlin Clark a thank you note for that too, because she's the reason you're getting anything. She's the reason you're getting anything. You wouldn't even have you would have no leverage whatsoever without her, without the impact she has made on this league. She's the reason, and everybody knows it. They will use. I saw a post on Facebook. I shit you not. I saw a post on Facebook. I shit you not. Where they said, let me see if I find it. Because I got cracked. People were cracking on me on it. And I'm just, it's hilarious. I think the owners could go to 20. I think that's the max they would go to. I think 17.5 is more likely. But I think if the players move to 20, the ownership will meet them at 17.5. And they'll take it and they'll be happy. They'll be happy. The players will feel like they got some level of concession. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I do think it would be very, very interesting to see if they would do it. Let me see here. Let me find this. All right. So here's the post. Here's the post. Take a look at this. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. This was on Facebook. This is what you got. You got a post here that says unrivaled regular season standings, Laces, Phantom, Mist, Breeze, Rose, Vinyl, Hive, Lunar House. And look at who they put in the middle of their damn post. This is by ESBN, some parody account or whatever. They use Caitlin Clark as the main image of unrivaled. And they put Paige in a little circle, and they put Kelsey Mitchell in a little heart, right? And so the verbiage on here says Paige Beckers and Kelsey Mitchell don't have winning records and unrivaled, yet you barely hear a word about it. No daily debates, no constant criticism, but if it were Caitlin Clark in that same position, would the conversation be this quiet? We know the answer is no. Fair or not, it feels like the energy and scrutiny aren't always the same. We all know this. The point is that they're using an image of Caitlin Clark on an unrivaled image. So even like we're gonna use Caitlin Clark's name for everything, clicks and clicks and clicks. So I said, imagine using Caitlin Clark's image to make people look at a graphic in a league she is not playing in. LOL. I got all kinds. I don't know what it is. I got 22 likes, 2 loves, and 2 laughs at. So I got responses from people. Here someone says all they do is use her. If she leaves this BS WNBA, that's what it needs to be called. Let's see how their CBA negotiations work out then. So sick of these jealous users shaking my damn head. I said, ain't that the truth? Someone says, imagine a question being asked, and instead of answering, you just talk about the subject at hand. Whatever. Imagine commenting when you could have kept scrolling. LMAO. Yeah, I could have, I said, but I didn't feel like it, just like you felt like responding to me, right? Imagine needing to use it to get people to even pay attention to it. Yeah, I didn't make the image. I just called out the BS of it. If you're promoting Unrivaled, put players who are playing, and that's like I get went out with the verbiage because I really didn't read it. I honestly didn't. I didn't read any of it. I didn't care. Stop doing like don't put her picture on some shit. You say you didn't read the words in the post. I was saying you're right. I didn't read the words. I don't need to read them. Don't use and I'm the IQ of a potato. Let me look at this guy's face. Let me find this fool here. Okay, let's look at Chet. Let's go make Chet famous. Oh, oh, cute. And you have the head of a potato. Ah, okay. Unrivaled season's not over. This team standings can change, and then CC doesn't even play. Like it's just like they got to use her for everything. She's used for everything, even silly Facebook shit. It's bananas, man. It's absolutely freaking crazy. They gotta use her for everything. Like it's nuts. It's nuts. Bananas. And I'm on Facebook, but God dog, some of the shit that's posted on Facebook makes me puke. Between the lies and the just made up stories and oh, I mean, it happens in every Facebook group there is. They're all doing it. There's Indiana Fever Facebook groups that I got out of because I just couldn't stand reading the shit. They would just flat lie. It was like, yo, this is just a flat out lie. You know, I guess it's a Facebook group from India that calls themselves Indiana Fever or something. Let's see if there's any new updates in the WNBA in the last 12 seconds. I'm curious. By the way, if you haven't done so, you hit the like button. I appreciate that. Oh, look at it! Look at this. Okay, this has nothing to do with this, but look at this. Look at this. The Minnesota Lynx have announced that Nigeria's women's basketball team will play the WNBA franchise in a historic preseason friendly at the T-Mobile Center on April 27th. Wow. What if the season hasn't started? Can you imagine scheduling a preseason friendly and you don't have a CBA yet? Here's the question: did they actually make a profit, or they just hit some number that allows them to pay out? That's the question. That's what I'm going to presume that they made a profit. That's why they're paying out money. I will presume. I will presume that they have made a profit this past year, which is why they're paying out money. But yeah, it could very well be that they just made a certain number, and that's all it is. Yeah, you notice I haven't responded to that comment, Shep. I refuse. I refuse to acknowledge the individual. I refuse to acknowledge the individual who put that ridiculous comment out there. I see we got someone in here coming to troll. They have not made selling franchises is not a profit. I guess, exactly. What players? What players do we got here? What players do we got here? What players? They have made deals to play a friendly. Paul Horning, when he was 55 years old, famously said his life was good because he was still on scholarship. Oh my goodness. Let's see anything else. Any other stuff here that we should take a look at? That Oh, look at that. That's interesting. Um just to give you an update of the actual newest WNBA CBA proposal, if you haven't heard that yet. April 27th. I will remain stupid on her 24% shooting. So they're gonna get 0 years of service will be provided a 1-bedroom apartment in 27 and 28 only. Developmental players will be provided studio apartments for the entirety of the deal. Okay, that's it. That's it. This is woo, bruh. Of course, yes, they may have boosted the numbers. That doesn't mean that they boosted them last year. Let's see what happens this year. Let's see what look, everything has its honeymoon period. The honeymoon period, it always exists for a little bit. We all know this. We all know the honeymoon eventually ends. The honeymoon eventually ends. The honeymoon eventually ends, and for anyone who's ever like if you live in a major market that has a professional sports team, you know that at some point people stop going because if you're not winning, they're not going. There's a reason no one goes to LA Sparks games. There's a reason that look, let's be real. The New York Liberty do not sell their building out most of the time. Their season tickets are not sold out. There's availability. Oh, I got something itchy. I need a Q-tip, man. Damn. Just jab my ear with a pen. That novelty dies. It dies. If you don't have a winning product, eventually people stop going. Like even in Minnesota, they still can't open their upper deck. See, this is what you're talking about. See, I'm gonna put you out there. What you mean? What players y'all people love hating on the NBA? No, it's about fact telling. You're too damn sensitive about shit, bro. Like if you're gonna come out here to be a bitch ass motherfucker, then just get the fuck out and I'll bump you out, man. I'll bump you out. It's no problem. I live in a world of business. And when you're a damn team that plays in the damn conference finals or in the WNBA finals and you can't open your upper deck, that means the people in your woke ass city of Minneapolis, Minnesota, who want to fight police and burn shit and block traffic over some fuckery in this country, but they ain't buying tickets to WNBA games. They don't give a fuck about the Minnesota Lynx. They couldn't give two shits. You can get into a regular season Lynx game for $3 in the lower level. This league is not a profit maker. You're crazy. And I don't hate on the players. I think a lot of these players are not that damn good. There are some that are good, and there are some that y'all say are good that aren't good. I got a laundry list of them. I'm not the typical Caitlin Clark fan. I have ripped to shreds players on her team that a lot of her fans love. Love. I didn't block your chat, Arthur. What are you talking about, bro? You show me the proof, motherfucker. You show me the proof. You came in running your fucking mouth. I got data from all the articles written by the damn reporters who present this shit. That's my proof. It ain't my job to dig up WNBA fucking financials. I don't know. That's just private information. It's not publicly fucking available. Hell you talking about? You're a fucking moron. Her bad shooting, what are you talking? Her bad shooting splits. Girl was injured all last year. She still shot better than Angel Reese's ass as a rookie, and she was shooting threes, and Reese was missing layups and getting blocked by the rim and getting blocked by guards. Fuck you talking about, bro? I already know what you look like. You're a black male in America. I know this. You're a black man. I can tell you what your demographic is. You're 25 to 34, black male who dreams about Angel Reese at night. That's your demographic. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Now the Valkyries made money last year because they sold their building out for the whole season. They made money. They made money. But at what point does the novelty die? That's the whole point. At what point does the novelty die? Understand that the NBA, their buildings aren't all sold out. There's only a handful of teams that have their buildings sold out every game. Tickets being sold. But when you show me a fucking WNBA team that plays in a 4,000 seat building, understand that high schools in Florida, the state championship in Florida for high schools is played at a place called the Lakeland Center. This is outside of Orlando, about 45 minutes to an hour from Orlando. That place seats 8,000 plus people. I have seen high school games in there full. I have seen high school games in that building full. High school, boys high school championship games. The WNBA has two teams that play in buildings that are less than 4,200, and they can't sell out. Do not tell me that that's a profit maker. That is not a profit maker. They don't have enough tickets to even make it remotely close to a profit maker. Get out. Bye. Get out of here. You're out of the chat. I don't need to deal with clown motherfuckers like that. I'm not doing it. The Dallas Arena seats 7,000. It seats 7,000. We can do that experiment. Dallas Wings capacity 7,000. She's supposed to be this cash cow, right? By the way, I bumped that idiot out because I was tired of reading that shit. You're not gonna call me names on my own fucking show. You can get the fuck out. Bye, band. I'm not dealing with that stupidness. I used to allow that shit to last longer. I used to give people a little bit more leeway, but I'm done giving leeway on dumb shit. No, I know you are. I'm talking about this not your average 10K. Oh, bye. Bye. I'm a clown. Bye. Call me your name and you will get blocked. You'll be bumped out. I'm not gonna be called names on my own shit. Faz. Yeah, bye. Faz 542. They're sending their people over again, folks. I'm triggering the fucking people again. I'm triggering folks. They're coming back to see me. They're coming back to see me. They're coming back. They want to see me. They couldn't stand being away. The problem is those fools don't know how to control their mouths. Those fools don't know how to control their mouths. You can be in my shit. You can come on my shit. You can talk some shit. What you're not going to do in this fucking room is you're not going to fucking disrespect me in my house. This is my motherfucking house. If you don't like it, get the fuck on. You can record my shit. You can bring it back to your people. You can make videos about me and talk about me because that's what you like to do. You've been doing it for a year. You can keep on doing it. My position, Arthur, is that Lexi is a bad basketball player. And if she wasn't in the WNBA, she'd be looked at as a regular ass chick, not a fucking supermodel the way some of y'all view her. She's not a very good ball player. Unless Caitlin Clark is on the floor, Lexi Hall is a 25% shooter from the field. She can't shoot unless Caitlin Clark is out there. The numbers are actually backed up by this. You see, I don't like her. I've told y'all that. These fools that want to come over here and act like I'm just sucking off on Cece. No, because if I wanted to just suck off on Cece, I would praise everybody who was associated with her. I would still be running live videos watching Iowa women's basketball games. I will not subject myself to that. I promise you. Her form is not second to none. Her form is not, hell, my form is better than her form. Please, let's take a look. Let's look at what Paige generated attendance-wise. Okay, 62-51. That is not a sellout. That is a home game. She could not sell a home game. The last game of the year, no less. Here, listen to this one. 57-10. Jesus Christ. Oh, my word. Oh, let's look at this. 62-51 again. Maybe that is a sellout there, even though it says 7,000. I don't know. But 57-10 ain't a sellout. 6,063. Not a sellout. 61-16. Not a sellout. Against Washington. Let's see here. 61-52. Not a sellout. I'm just going to get. Let's just do this. The Dallas Wings averaged 72-72 because they played a game in did they play a game or two at the American Airlines that did 20,000 against the Fever? Their average home attendance, they're low. They had a low of 5,228. Remember, those are ticket sales. Those aren't people in the building. So they didn't even sell out the tickets to the 7,000 seat arena. But Paige Beckers is a megastar, right? Appreciate you, Wolf. Thank you so much. She's not a megastar. She's a basketball player, a good one. She's a good one. I'll never take that away from Paige Beckers. She's a good basketball player. She could even be considered a very good to excellent basketball player. I will not take that away from the girl. But she's not a star. She ain't a megastar. She doesn't transcend the sport. She's not her. She plays in a closet. And they can't sell out the closet. And if the Dallas Wings draft AZ Fudd, they're fucking morons. Because AZ Fudd, is it Azzy or AZ? I don't even know. I keep getting corrected and I always forget. But AZ Fudd, Azzy Fudd, whatever the fuck her name is, they draft her? That's a joke. That girl's just a shooter. She's literally just a shooter. That's her entire game. She's not some elite defensive player. She's not great off the bounce. She is a shooter. The Washington Mystics play in a place that sees 4,200. 4,200. The Atlanta Dream play in a place. The Atlanta Dream were one of the best teams in the WNBA. They were one of the best teams in the WNBA, people. And their fucking seating is 3,500. And someone wants to tell me that this is a profitable organization? Oh, Lord. I don't care about special whistles. I don't care about that. She's still a good player. Like, you can throw all the whistle shit away. She's a good player. I'm not gonna go into the mud on stuff like that. A player can play. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets the most special whistle I've ever seen in basketball. Like, he gets a more special whistle than Michael Jordan got. The guy gets breathed on and it's a foul. He falls over when he gets touched. So I'm not gonna go in. I really don't care. That doesn't change the fact that she's a good player. Dallas needs a big. If them not drafting Lauren Betts is crazy to me. Like, I've never seen such stupidity. These projected mock drafts drive me crazy. Because you're not drafting a 6'7" player with touch around the basket who has range to 15, 16 feet, and you're not going to draft her when you badly need a big? Oh, my God. Like, my goodness. Wow, I see that comment. I'm not even putting that comment up there. That's crazy. Whatever. Yeah. Angel Reese missed a half the season. What are you talking about? Paige Beckers can't sell at a 7,000 seat arena, bro. She can't sell a 7,000 seat arena. Atlanta can't sell out a building. They had the second or third. They had the third best record in the WNBA, second best record in the WNBA last year. Third. Can't sell out the building. They lost to a team of fucking the equivalent of a bunch of G Leaguers with Indiana. They lost to G Leaguers. They got people that came off the damn couch. Odyssey Sims was lighting her ass on fire. Odyssey Sims lighting them on fire. You're playing with fucking G League level players that came in and knocked off the team with one of the best records in the WNBA last year, who can't sell out their own building. Can't sell their building out. And they want to come at me and tell me this is a profitable organization? You can't sell enough tickets to be profitable. $3,500. Let's do mathematics here. 3,500 tickets. Let's say they're selling for $200 a ticket. Let's say I'm throwing, because that ain't the number. Let's say they're sold for $200 a ticket. That is $700,000 in revenue for a game. $700,000 in revenue for one game if they sold every ticket for $200. $200. Let's look at that mathematics right there. You sold it for $200. We know that number is not accurate. It's way lower than that. Your security is going to cost a chunk. Employees are going to cost a chunk. The per game salary is a piece. The lights are a piece. They don't make profit on their games. They don't make profit on their games. It's logistically impossible. Like you have a professional sports event. You got traffic people have the police for traffic. You got police for this, police. There's got to be 30 to 40 police officers there. I don't know what their rates are, but if there's 40 cops times $100 an hour, I'm gonna say $100 an hour, and they're there for 6 hours. I mean, you're paying 25 grand in security or more. I don't see how you make profit off that. And that's at 200 a ticket, which we know is not accurate. Their average ticket is probably $50. Average, which that includes your court side and your stuff that's not. I mean, I've done I've done the videos on the get-in price. I've done the get-in price videos. I've done them. It's trash. Let's take a look. Saying Paige has no clout or attraction is crazy as I swear y'all never watched. We aren't in high school. This is not high school. And I did watch her in college. What are you talking about, man? Clout. You know what clout is? Attraction is? People gotta buy tickets to watch you play. Her team did not sell out their building in her home court. The Dallas Wings did not sell out the building. And we ain't in high school anymore, bro. This ain't high school. This ain't UConn. You think people at UConn bought tickets because of Paige? They've sold out every game this year without Paige. Paige is just another cog in their wheel at UConn. Let's not act like Paige Beckers is something special at UConn. She might not be a top 5 player at UConn. Why do y'all watch basketball? Why do you watch basketball? Why do you watch basketball is the better question. To criticize the player that brought the attention to the game, to the women's game? Because I watch basketball. The NBA right now is the worst it's been in my lifetime. It's the worst product it's been in my lifetime, which is also why I will watch the WNBA, because at times, not always, but at times, I feel like I'm watching basketball that I grew up to. Basketball that has some semblance of structure, positional structure. Bigs play by the basket and guards roam the perimeter. And I don't have a 7-foot fucking center shooting 27-footers. I like positional structural basketball. I don't like watching people take 5 steps and it not be called a travel. I don't enjoy that. The NBA guys can run from half court to the fucking layup to the basket and not get called for traveling. That ain't hoop. So I don't know what you're talking about. Why I watch the women's game? Caitlin Clark is why I turned this shit back on at the WNBA level. And that's why a lot of people turned it. In fact, that's why a majority of people turn this shit back on or turn it on for the first time. If you don't want to accept that, that's your problem. And that's the problem that those players have. They don't want to accept that there's one player who made their entire sport matter. Their jealousy transcends. You know what NBA players did when Michael Jordan showed up? People accepted that Michael Jordan, 3-time MVP, Larry Bird, arguably the best player of the 1980s in the NBA, said Jesus is Michael Jordan is Jesus is Michael Jordan is Jesus in a basketball, but whatever he said, he's Jesus, he's God. That Michael Jordan is God is whatever. Let me look at that term that Larry Bird used. If anyone remembers it, I'm happy to take it from y'all. Larry Bird. Paige did not win 2 championships. She won 1. Paige won 1 championship, so that's not accurate either. She won 1 championship. Her last year, her 5th year of college. That maybe if Caitlin Clark had gone back for a 5th year herself, might have won herself. You never know. Larry Bird says, I think it's just God disguised as Michael Jordan. And that was when he was 23 years old, while Larry Bird was the league MVP. That's what the NBA players said about Michael Jordan. Do you think that any WNBA player would ever give Caitlin Clark any level or close to any level of acknowledgement like that? We all know the answer. The answer is no. The answer is no. Sarah Strong was the best player on that team last year at UConn. AZ Fudd was the MVP because Paige Beckers in the Final Four fucking disappeared. She wasn't good. She got carried. It's cute how people that don't like Caitlin Clark will say it's not just about points. Caitlin Clark led college basketball in assists. Like, she led the country in assists. She led the WNBA as a rookie in assists. What are you talking about? I coached this game, man. How many people come to NBA games on average? I don't know, probably 17, 18,000. Average NBA attendance, 18,324. That's the average NBA attendance, 18,324. That was 23-24. Arenas were filled up to an all-time high of 98% capacity, with 71% of games selling out. The league surpassed 22.5 million in total attendance, a record 873 sellouts. That was in the 23-24 season. Paige Beckers was fucking terrible in that championship game. Fudd won that. Fudd was the player because she's wide open most of them because of Sarah Strong. Like, that team is loaded in talent, man. Team's loaded with talent. Let's not act like UConn is not doesn't have 10 fucking McDonald's All-Americans on that team. Paige would be lucky to be considered a top 5 player in UConn history. Maya Moore is number 1. Maya Moore is number 1. Diana Taurasi is number 2. Or you could put Diana, I don't care what you do. You can put Taurasi at number 1. I don't give a fuck. But Maya Moore and Diana Taurasi are 1 and 2. Off the rip. Brianna Stewart is probably in the top 3. Is probably 3. That's 3 right there. Now you decide the rest of them. Sue Bird. Rebecca Lobo. Hell, Sarah Strong right now. Swin Cash. Tina Charles. Hell, you want to go look at another player that you probably don't know much about because you just turned this shit on? Kalina Mosqueda Lewis was a national player of the year at UConn. Probably don't even know her name. Probably don't even know her name, most of y'all. She's a 3-time NCAA champion. 3-time. 2-time All-American. 2-time second-team All-American. She played at UConn. How? Nafisa Collier. Nafisa Collier. I just said that fucking Paige would be lucky to be named top 5. I'm giving you names of players. You can break them wherever you want, but you also don't know shit about UConn basketball if you dismiss Sue Bird and you dismiss Rebecca Lobo, because Rebecca Lobo, what at the time was the first NCAA championship at UConn. Being known since high school doesn't mean fuck all. It doesn't mean shit. What does that mean? There's a lot of people known since high school. Bronny James was known since high school. Does that make him good at basketball on a professional level? Come on, man. Everyone's new to basketball except for you, Lil K reacts. Everybody's new except for you. How old are you, Lil K? Because you're not an adult if you're calling yourself Lil K. How old are you? How old are you? I don't give a fuck how many championships Caitlin Clark has. I don't give a shit about that. I've never judged a player based on championships. So I think the fact that the NBA, that stupid shows judge everything based on championships, I've never done it. It's a team sport. It's a team sport. It's a team sport. How many WNBA championships does Nafisa Collier have? None. Right? None? Is that correct? None? How many championships does she have in the WNBA? None. I'm pretty sure it's none. I just want to confirm it. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, she has none. She has 0 WNBA championships. 0. Caitlin has hype because of her game, not because of championships. Because of her game. Like let's not delude ourselves. Don't sit here and say that she's not what. So you just said you like them both, but now you're ripping her. See, it's funny. Kira Mill, you're literally sitting here saying you like Caitlin and Paige, but now you're literally ripping Caitlin in the same with comments. Well, how many championships does Caitlin clap? I don't consider a Commissioner's Cup a championship. That's a fucking fugazi bunch of bullshit. I don't consider that a championship. The same way I don't consider the NBA Cup a championship. Please. If you don't think Caitlin has hype, then why? Then don't expose yourself, because what you're literally doing is you're showing that you don't really like her because you're sitting here making up thinking about championships. Charles Barkley is one of the top 25 players of all time, in my opinion, in the NBA. 30 at worst. That motherfucker never won a ring. Neither did Karl Malone, top 30 all time, never won a ring. Would them have won a ring made a difference in where I rate them as players? No. They're all-time greats. They're all-time greats. Kevin Durant ran to Steph Curry to win a ring. LeBron ran to Dwayne Wade to win a ring. Tell me the talent that Caitlin Clark has played with in a year that remotely looks like a LeBron James team with fucking Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh or Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. Like, come on. Let alone in college where she's playing with a bunch of 2-star players. Come on. The fact that they got to the Final Four was a goddamn miracle. Their first year without her, they get drop kicked in the second round. Their first year without her, they get drop kicked in the second round. This year, they're putting up 66 points in a game. Against 62 points in the game against fucking Michigan. They won it. But come on now. Come on now. Here's the comedy. Paige Beckers is so great that this year, UConn's better without her. UConn's better without her. Does that bust your balls? Does that piss you off? They're better without her. They're undefeated. They've won almost every game by 30. You are bugging. You are bugging. Clark had 3 and 4-star players. Name me the 4-star player. He had 1. UConn's got fucking 10 McDonald's All-Americans. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your fucking mind? If you don't, okay, whatever, man. You don't consider Caitlin Clark a top basketball player, but you consider Paige Beckers a top basketball player. Get the fuck out of here. Whatever. Stop it. UConn's undefeated this year. They're 29-0. No. UConn had not won a championship in 8 years. Kill that noise. They had not won a championship in 8 years. And they won it the year they got Sarah Strong. If Caitlin Clark had gone back to play a 5th year in college basketball, it's quite possible that Iowa would have won the national championship last year. Quite possible. Because South Carolina last year did not have size. That was the first South Carolina team that wasn't massive. Not a feeling, a fact. Caitlin Clark leaves. They go 23-11. They lose. They lose in the second round by 30 some odd points. Not making. They were 10-8 in the conference. They won 3 straight Big Ten championships with Caitlin Clark. She leaves. They don't even get to the. They lose in the quarterfinals. They were so bad they had to play a first and second round game without her. They lose by 34 in the second round to Oklahoma last year. 34! Oh my God. Get the fuck out of my room if you don't like it. No one's asking you to be here. God. Caitlin Clark makes me happy about it. That's why I talk about it. Read the topic of the discussion. God damn. Slow motherfucker. Size has always killed this team. They're too fucking small. They got a little bit bigger this year, and they're pretty good. They could make an Elite 8 run. And at that point, they will get absolutely blown out of the fucking building, as I did in my video, by South Carolina, UConn, or Texas. I think Texas is the one team that they could actually have a shot against, but South Carolina and UConn will absolutely obliterate them. They wouldn't be put in a bracket with UCLA because they're in the Big Ten. So, man, the UConn fans are here, baby. The UConn fans are here. Yeah, Duke, they won't acknowledge that. They don't want to acknowledge that UConn's entire team is top 40 players in the country. South Carolina's entire team, top 40 players in the country. Yet somehow that team of scrubs at Iowa went to the Final Four, went to the national championship twice in a row. Scrubs. Kate Martin's in the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark. She would not be in the WNBA if not because of Caitlin Clark. Stop the fucking cap. Yes, that 1,000%. Like they're like South Carolina's little sister. They're like South Carolina Light. Their game is so ugly, it's like almost hard to watch the way they play. Hannah Stuelke's a scrub. She's a scrub. I'll show you. You want to know what Hannah Stuelke's numbers were with Caitlin Clark 2 years ago? You want to know what they are right now? You want to know? I can tell you. I can give you a little education on facts. I know you don't like them. Hannah Stuelke. As a sophomore with Caitlin Clark playing 24.5 minutes per game, she averaged 14 points on 62.7% shooting. Last year, without Caitlin Clark, she averaged 12.7 on 49.8% shooting in 27.5 minutes. This year, she's playing 29.6 minutes, her most minutes. She's averaging 13.7 points on 54.4% shooting. So in her 2 seasons with Caitlin Clark, she shot 61% and 62.7%. And in her second year, she averaged 14 points per game. The best season of her 4 years at Iowa. She's a scrub. She's a scrub. Ava Hyden's their best player. Ava Hyden's a sophomore. I wish Caitlin Clark could have played with Ava Hyden. If Caitlin Clark had Ava Hyden on her team, who's 6'4", Iowa probably wins a national championship. And no, they're not. 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 Are you sure about that? Kiki Iriafen at Stanford as a junior averaged 19.4 points on 55% shooting and 11 rebounds a game. And at USC averaged 18 and 8.4 at USC. Do not tell me that they're the same. They're not. They're not. Which ones? Which ones, dude? What are you talking about? No, I don't. I don't think she will. I don't think she will. I don't. I'm gonna be real. I don't think she will. Thank you, Lord. I appreciate that. Someone acknowledges that. I appreciate that. Because these folks who don't ride here and don't know shit about what I say make me laugh. I have ripped Caitlin Clark a new asshole for her shit. It's cost me tons of subscribers, I promise you. I promise you. Because Lord forbid you criticize the queen, that the people get mad. But I will criticize her because I hold no punches. Do you sign a 4? Thank you, Mike Nunn. Appreciate it, man. Do you sign a 4 and draft Stuelke as a backup for chemistry? I would not draft Stuelke. Fuck, man. Stop it. She's a scrub. She's a scrub. She's a fucking mediocre player. She'll be lucky to be drafted by the 3rd round. Bricklayer. Did he really? Oh, he's a fucking idiot. I don't need to look at 4-year totals when you didn't play your first 2 years. That's ridiculous. I didn't talk about fucking her 4-year totals, by the way. I didn't talk about 4-year totals for Hannah Stuelke, okay? I didn't mention her 6.5 points as a freshman. All right, so stop it. I didn't do that. Stanford has way more talent than Iowa. Stop it. See, you're full of shit now. You think that Hannah Stuelke's on the level of Kiki Irfin? Get the fuck out of here. I don't need to look at 4-year totals. That's not accurate of who the player is. That's not accurate. They can want who they want. They only want her because of some Caitlin Clark bullshit. She's not good. She's not a fucking pro. She could go play in Europe. She's not a fucking WNBA level player. Hell, she's a less athletic version. She has shorter arms. She's not. Bro, man, I swear to God, the Iowa cult is real. She averaged 19 and a half points and 8.5 assists and led the fucking league in assists. The fuck you talking about, bro? She shot better from the field than Angel Reese did. And Angel was missing layups. She's shooting threes. She shot 50 fucking plus % from 2-point range. She's guarded at fucking 94 feet. I know you don't want to acknowledge reality, but that's the fucking reality. At 10? Fuck, oh, I know. I don't know. I'll be real. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to look. I think I think you need a legitimate shooter. I don't know that Kelsey Mitchell comes back. I don't know that Kelsey Mitchell comes back. Right now, they got projected at 10. They got Yana Nepkins. I wouldn't touch her. I would love Flau'jae Johnson in Indiana. I know people might call that crazy. I would love Flau'jae Johnson in Indiana. They got right now Medina Olcott going to Indiana. I don't think that's a bad pick. They need size. They need real size, like tough size. Aaliyah Boston's a buttercup. I think Medina Olcott brings the South Carolina attitude. I know she was at Mississippi State or whatever it was before, but this year at South Carolina, she brings that dog mentality, which I like. She's big, big. I think you either got to go find a shooter, who can keep people honest, or go get yourself a real big, and let Aaliyah Boston play the 4. If Aaliyah Boston wants to shoot jump shots, let Aaliyah Boston play the 4, and get yourself a real center. When I use the word scrub, it's relative to the league. She's not a WNBA player. How does it make sense to draft Hannah Stuelke because they have a 3rd-round pick? Why does that make sense? This ain't fucking college or high school, man. What do y'all want? Gabby Marshall too? You wanted Lucy Olsen last year, who she didn't even play with? Oh my God. What makes you have that feeling? Come on now. So what? And Caitlin had 41. Fuck you. That's for you, Lil K Reacts. Still waiting to find out how old you are, child boy. Fuck off. My fucking room. You don't like it, get the fuck out. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. He's a fucking idiot. Duke, I'm at this point, I've given up. This is part of the problem with this whole shit. It is trying to explain to people who don't understand basketball why you don't need everyone who played with Caitlin Clark at Iowa to be on her team in the WNBA. Because they're not that good. Because they're literally not that good. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Leading in the league in assists. Okay, great. If you say so. Um, Hannah was the best run and gun player. I don't care. That was in college. This isn't college anymore. It's not college anymore. Anyhow, I'm done. I have to go pick up my kid from school. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for jumping on board. That's all I got, man. But we'll see what happens with the CBA, man. Appreciate everyone who jumped on board today. Thank y'all so very, very much. Hope y'all had a good time. We will do this more often because we are getting into real basketball, and I will be talking a lot about the women's college basketball tournament. Um, I've never disliked women's college basketball, by the way. I've watched women's college basketball my entire life. I have. What's turned me off, just so you're very well aware of what's turned me off, is this emasculation process of men. I don't like it. I don't like how all of a sudden women got so good at basketball that they think that they can go and say, I'm going to go beat Josh Hart in one-on-one, or I'm going to go take out XYZ in one-on-one. There's some high school girls basketball player right now saying that she would beat the best NBA player in the league. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. That's stupid. And that's where I've lost it and my respect drops for people because you lose sight of fucking reality. There's a reason that men play men and women play women. I can respect the women's game for what it is, but stop telling me that you're better than men because you're not. Stop doing it. It's ridiculous. There's a reason Usain Bolt does not run against Sha'Carri Richardson. Sha'Carri Richardson would not qualify for a men's final. Hell, she would not qualify for a men's event because her best time would not be good enough. But yet we want to sit here with the women's basketball above them all. It's going to tell you how amazing they are and how much better than they are than men. These women live in the world of emasculation of men, and it irritates me. But that's all I got. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. I appreciate it. And yes, UConn is the best team in the country. No one else is better. They're going to go undefeated. They're going to dog walk everybody, and that's a wrap, man. And I'm not even a UConn fan. I'm not even a UConn fan. But I know what I know, and I'm watching what I'm watching. And them girls are going to kick everybody's ass this year. That's a wrap. Y'all have a great day. Have a great day. I appreciate y'all. This is Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.